a Gears of War 6 theory that has, there's been and I'm going to be talking about more and more Gears of War 6 theories that are kind of roaming around the community, people talking about it, and especially as we're kind of on this hiatus with Gears of War, in terms of, not knowing exactly what the future holds and things of that nature. I want to talk about this, one theory that came up, and that being about the campaign revolving Gear 6. There's, a couple of things. Number one is that Gear 6 is going to go from a semi-open world scenario to a full open world. And I love this concept. I've been saying it for a while, that an open world, like a full open world scenario within Gears 6 would be something pretty special. I think when they teased the semi-open world in Gears 5, I really liked it. I thought it was pretty awesome, to say the least. But having a full open world could be something really, really special for sure. I think that there's a lot of possibilities there. I think it really helps build more lore and so on and so forth. Now, obviously, you don't want it to be, get to a point where you really get drawn out of the experience. I still think that there needs to be clear-cut, objectives and things of that nature in terms of the story. But I just think that having a full open world is really going to help build, more lore, narratives, things of that nature around Gears of War. The second one that I've been hearing a lot is about Kait Diaz as the character. Are we going to be playing as her? Are we going to play as JD? Are we going to play as Marcus? Who are we going to play as? Well, obviously, guys, JD's fate, we don't really know what's going to be canon, right? With the decision that you have to make between, Del and JD, who lives, who dies, how they're going to do that is going to be very interesting to me in terms of from a canon perspective. Where are they going to go there? Does the decision you made in Gears 5 going to kind of come to fruition in Gears 6, where whatever your decision was, then, that's how the story goes? That'd be really interesting, to say the least, if that's the direction they go. But the other one, I believe, is that I think Kait Diaz is probably going to be the character that we play as in Gears 6, right? It really just kind of makes more sense that way, that he would or she would be the main character that you play as in the title. If you don't play as her, maybe you're able to pick a character and they all have different kind of, they all are going down the same trajectory, but slightly different paths, obviously. That'd be interesting. You play as Marcus, even though he's maybe with, Kait Diaz. The timeline and his path is a little bit different. That'd be an interesting one. So it'll be interesting. I would say, though, if I had to say Kait Diaz is going to be the character. So if that's the case, a lot of people in the community are talking, is Kait Diaz actually the villain? Is she going to become the Swarm Queen? Or, is she going to be essentially, they kind of teased this in Gears 5 with the marketing and all that stuff. They were teasing that, hey, Kait Diaz maybe is actually, going to be taking over in terms of the Swarm, the Locust Horde. And I thought this was a really interesting concept, to say the least. Maybe we're playing the villain. I really kind of like that. Just to kind of change it up, obviously. I just think that it's an interesting concept. If the plan was, obviously, with Rod Ferguson stating that Gears 6, Gears 7, as well as a Gears of War movie were all confirmed before he left to go to Blizzard to work on Diablo, it would make some sense, or it kind of begs to question, maybe Kait Diaz is actually going to be the villain here. And that's it's an interesting thought. So do I think it's going to happen? Maybe, maybe not. I think it would be really interesting. one of the things that I was a little bit critical of with Gears 5 was that it was, the maps were so bright. And even though I like how they were bright, it kind of took away a little bit from the grittiness of the original, Gears of War games. And so I would love to see like more gritty, a little bit darker. I think it needs to go back to that. And obviously I want it to be called Gears of War 6, not Gears 6. MD Ultra says, if JD is canon, I would like them to go back to JD. I want to see his perspective. Kait has been great, but if JD is canon, I want to be JD for this one. I'm fine with Kait, though. And that's an interesting one. And, it's interesting you bring this up, because I've been pretty critical of the Coalition's treatment of JD in Gears 5. They kind of made JD seem just like a total douchebag in Gears 5. Like, made you as the person playing the game not really like him as a character anymore. And I thought he was awesome in Gears of War 4. I loved JD in Gears of War 4. But then they kind of almost make you as a player, like, not necessarily turn on him, but like, you just don't like him as much as you did in Gears of War 4. At least that's the feeling I got from it. I'm fine with playing as JD if that's canon. I'm fine with playing as Kait Diaz. I think that she's a great character. Like, I love Kait. I think overall, I really, really like her. I kind of wish that we would have stuck with JD a little bit longer before switching to Kait. Like, I think that we should have had at least 2 or 3 games playing as JD before we moved over to Kait Diaz. I mean, I'm fine that they did it this way, but I would have preferred them to stick with JD a little bit longer than they did. But I digress. Kait Diaz, though, being the Swarm Queen would be something really interesting to me. If we're playing as her and then you end up becoming the head of the Swarm. I mean, that's a really, like I said, it's kind of a dark kind of narrative, but it's an interesting one to me, and I do like it actually quite a bit. And maybe you go back to playing as JD to take down the Swarm Queen, that being Kait Diaz, or who knows. It's interesting. There's a lot of theories here, and we're going to be talking a lot, guys, as time goes, about Gear 6 theories, to say the least, as we go here. I'm excited about that without question. I think it's going to be awesome. But I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. What are some of the Gears theories that you guys would like to see moving forward, or things that you guys think, or you guys are hearing right now behind the scenes that would be something that you guys would like to see, or something that you don't want to see? Let me know what you guys think. MD Ultra says, imagine taking down Reyna and Kait. I mean, it would be, it's almost like it would come full circle, right? It's like we're playing as Kait Diaz, who's going to be, is kind of being groomed to become the Swarm Queen. She becomes a Swarm Queen, let's say at the end of Gear 6, and then we come back and we play as Marcus to finish him off kind of thing in Gear 7. Marcus, I do think his fate will be that he's ultimately going to be the one who dies. I do think that he is going to, his demise will come, potentially. Or JD does die, like canon will be, he dies in Gear 6, and Marcus goes out on a rampage, like a revenge tour like we've never seen before. So there's a couple of ways that this could go, and I'm excited, to say the least, to see where it goes, guys, because I think there's a number of ways it could go. I'm very excited about it, to say the least. But let me know what you guys think of some of these Gears 6 theories. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Gears of War 6 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.